Anthony Joshua versus Oleksandr Usyk. How does Anthony Joshua go about winning this fight? Make sure you guys like this video, share this video, drop your comments in the comment section below. Let me see what you guys think about Joshua and what he has to do to actually beat Oleksandr Usyk. Obviously, in the first fight, we saw Anthony Joshua trying to box Oleksandr Usyk. He did start the fight, trying to just figure out what Oleksandr Usyk is doing. He ended up getting tagged quite hard in the third round, and it seemed to be going downhill from there. He never really wanted to step on the gas. He never really looked like he wanted to take the bull by the horns and really go after Oleksandr Usyk, whether it's the afraid of a deja vu with what happened with Andy Ruiz, or maybe he's just it wasn't in the fight, it just wasn't psychologically there. We don't know. Only AJ knows what really went down there. Smoke and mirrors, we have no idea. All we can say is what we saw in the ring, and obviously what Anthony Joshua was doing obviously wasn't good enough to beat Oleksandr Usyk in the very first fight. So, new fight, new chance, new opportunity. How does Anthony Joshua go about defeating Oleksandr Usyk? I've got my theories. Make sure you guys drop your comments and let me know how you guys think Joshua should go about beating Usyk. In my opinion, I've said it on multiple occasions. I've said it on a few other boxing platforms as well, Twitter and various different platforms, that the way Anthony Joshua goes about taking on Oleksandr Usyk is educated pressure. Hashtag educated pressure. I know a lot of people have come out and said Anthony Joshua should rush him and jump on him in the very first round. You do know that if you do rush a man, like he could backfire in spectacular fashion. So you have to fight smart. In the first fight, we saw Joshua barely, not even really let his hands go at all, really. So now I'm saying that he needs to let his hands go, but in an educated fashion. He also needs to find ways of cutting off the ring, in the sense that preventing Oleksandr Usyk from having those exits that he normally does when he's trying to swivel, change the angles, and evade shots. He needs to corner him, whether it's on the ropes, only giving him left or right as an option to get out. He needs to be on the front foot, pressuring Oleksandr Usyk. These are some of the key things that I feel like Anthony Joshua needs to go about. He needs to press Oleksandr Usyk on the front foot, enforcing the action to at least give the judges the idea that he's the one pressing Oleksandr Usyk. Like I said, he also needs to cut off those options. There's escape routes that Oleksandr Usyk likes to use, and he likes to use in order to evade shots and get himself out of danger. And what Anthony Joshua definitely needs to do is be more active and let his hands go. In the first, like I said, in the first fight, he didn't let his hands go enough. And how can you win a fight if you're not throwing enough punches? Especially with the fact when we obviously saw that Anthony Joshua was losing the fight and he still didn't let his hands go enough. Maybe it was fatigue, maybe he was getting tired, or maybe he was afraid of getting countered by shots, or whatever it was. There wasn't enough punch volume from Anthony Joshua against Oleksandr Usyk in the very first fight, and it's going to have to be more punch volume. He did catch Oleksandr Usyk a couple times in the first fight, but he never really followed it up with any following shots. So those are a couple things that Anthony Joshua's going to have to do. The question is whether he's going to be able to do it. The general consensus has always been that if Anthony Joshua is going to win this fight, it's going to have to be within 7 rounds. And most people think that if it goes towards the later end of the fight, then Usyk's going to win the fight, just because of the way Usyk's able to take control of a fight and boss a fight and just get into a rhythm and be able to just downloaded the information that was necessary and keep it all programmed. So Anthony Joshua, like I said, letting the hands go. If you hit this guy with a shot, you got to follow him up, especially in terms of the punch selection. We know Anthony Joshua was a very good combination puncher. 1-2-3 combination, hit him to the body, upstairs, and opportunities are going to naturally open up for themselves when you're throwing those kind of punches. So that's how I feel. Those are just a few things I feel like Anthony Joshua needs to do to have any form of success against Oleksandr Usyk. And again, it's not a matter of just rushing Oleksandr Usyk, because you're fighting an elite guy. You go in there, just rush him and just knock him out. Because I'm hearing a lot of people just talk about rush Usyk, knock him out. Do you know who you're fighting? This ain't some cream puff. This isn't some journeyman. This ain't Pulev. this is a guy who cleared up the cruiserweight division, so you know you have to be careful the way you be stepping to him. You step to him in a certain kind of way, thinking you're just going to go in there and open shots and take him out. Well, if Andy Ruiz is going to be able to slip shots and counter and rock AJ, you better be very sure Oleksandr Usyk is capable of doing the same. So it's going to be educated pressure. And I'm very sure Anthony Joshua knows that. And as a fighter, you will be able to sense when your a fighter is in the position to be dispatched of. And so it's going to be a very interesting fight. How do I think Anthony Joshua is going to approach it in the very beginning? I feel like he's going to, like I said, he's going to be on the front foot. He's going to be trying to press Oleksandr Usyk. Question is whether he's going to be able to sustain that for the amount of time he's going to need to. Because I highly suspect that if Usyk hasn't been knocked out yet, and it becomes the mid rounds, round 6, round 7 mark, I feel like AJ will begin to slow, and I feel like Usyk will begin to pick his shots, and especially look a bit more dominant in the later rounds of the fight. So it's going to be interesting to see what Robert Garcia has come up with. Robert Garcia training Anthony Joshua. He is notorious for that style that I have mentioned, you know, trying to corner fighters and being a bit more aggressive in approach. So you have to wait and see what happens, how Anthony Joshua deals with it, and what Oleksandr Usyk presents, and what Joshua just revert back to type and, you know, just completely forget about what he's done. But, you know, because like Mike Tyson says, you know, once you get in the ring and you get punched, you know, completely different ball game. So drop your comments in the comment section below. How do you think this fight goes? Those are some of the things I feel like Anthony Joshua needs to do to be successful. Let me see what you guys think. Be sure to like the video, share the video, drop your comments. I will be replying to all the comments in the comment section below. So be sure to also share this video on all platforms. Cool.